you might take a look at this.
He goes through Johnny Russell, get that ball.
Is 100% in the goal. That'll come back. Play will carry on here.
Welcome to Instant Replay presented by Cheez-Its for MLS Week 32. I'm Andrew Wiebe, as always, with my compatriot in controversial calls, Charlie Davies. 2 words, Charlie, they're always the same.
Let's go.
And let's go to Sandy. Beautiful views of the mountains in the distance and 2 potential PK calls for FC Cincinnati, who, by the way, won this match 2-1. The first is in the 37th minute, Chuck. Brandon Vasquez played over the top, and he's spinning, going down, looking back to referee Chris Pinto for a penalty, and he gets the call on the field. Pinto points to the spot. But, and this is a big but, VAR Daniel Radford checks the play, as every potential goal-scoring play is, in this case a penalty, and says, Chris, go to the monitor. This is not a penalty. It's a clear and obvious error. Pinto does and reverses the call. What do you think?
All I have to say is I'm glad VAR jumped in because there was no contact on Brandon Vasquez to bring him down. His momentum is what brought him down, put him off balance, and he went to the ground. Chris Pinto, from that angle, it may have seemed that the center back could have gotten his forearm on the back of Brandon Vasquez to push him down and get him off balance. So great job by the VAR official to see that, signal it to Chris Pinto, and for Chris Pinto to ultimately reverse the call on the field.
Completely agree, Charlie. There is a little bit of contact from Justin Glad in Brandon Vasquez's back. I mean, it is glancing. It is certainly not enough to spin him and bring him down. Completely agree, Daniel Radford. Well done for spotting this clear and obvious error. And well done to Chris Pinto for going to the monitor and saying, yep, I made an error there. Let's reverse this one. No PK. All right, we got another potential PK. This one FC Cincinnati fans really wanted. 47th minute, Alvis Powell goes down under pressure from Marcelo Silva. He chops him, and it definitely looks like there is contact between feet, Charlie. Pinto says no PK. Radford says no clear and obvious error, and play continues. Now, on first viewing, I felt a little bit swayed by that contact, but you talked a little sense into me in the sense that initially it appeared to me that Silva adjusted the way his feet were moving and left his foot in, thereby initiating the contact. But on second viewing, and when you watch it live, especially not all slowed down, you can tell that these are just normal steps from Silva. He's not invading the space of Alvis Powell. It's Powell who steps into him. Do you agree, Chuck?
Do I agree? Of course it's Powell who steps on Silva's foot. It's clear to me as soon as Silva plants to turn around and thinking that Alvis Powell was going to cut back to the inside, he has his foot stepped on, and that's what causes Powell to go to ground. There was no evidence of a penalty on this play.
All right, Cincy were away from home, but the Crew were in Ohio, so let's go to Ohio now. Columbus, Portland, 73rd minute. The Crew won not one, but 2 PKs on this play, Charlie. 1 for the undercut, 2 on Eric Williamson for throwing off Josh Williams as he attempts to finish. Do you see a PK here? Victor Rivas, the referee, did not see any, and Edwin Jurasevich, the VAR, did not see a clear and obvious error.
I see no clear and obvious error as well. There is not a penalty for me. Cucho Hernandez launches his body forward and puts himself in an awkward position, which makes it seem like an undercut, but it's really not. And in case of the shot that connects with Eric Williams' body, that is not a penalty kick for me. Good job by the officiating crew.
I understand why you say that, Charlie, and I think I agree with you on clear and obvious error, but I do think it is a penalty-worthy foul on the undercut. Cucho is going for the ball. I don't think he throws himself wildly in any way, and the Portland defender, clearly, unlike those around who are challenging for the ball, bends over and makes a motion, a strong one, underneath the attacking player who is jumping for the ball. I think that's a foul. I think it should have been a PK, but I understand why on review you might say, not clear and obvious for me. All right, offside, onside situation, 81st minute. The Crew think they have a second goal. They think they're up 2-0, but the flag goes up. This is called offside on the field. So that means there has to be clear and obvious evidence that it was onside to reverse the call. What do you think of this one?
Like you said, it has to be clear and obvious that he was onside. And the AR, as we know, is in good position. Look, he can see down the line. And to me, it looks like he is just a head offside. He's leaning in an offside position. I think the AR was in the right spot, got the call right, and therefore there is not clear and obvious evidence that this was the wrong decision.
Completely agree with you. To Vancouver we go. Seattle in town. Whitecaps trying to pile it on. They want to be up 3-0 in the 61st minute. The big question is, did this ball cross the line, or did Steph Fry manage to yank it back before the entire ball crossed?
How many times have we seen this play? Wiebe, come on now. This was not completely and entirely past the goal line. I can see it. The complete sphere was still over the line. This is not a goal. Very close, but not a goal.
I'm less convinced than you are that it is absolutely for sure not a goal, but I definitely would agree that there is nothing clear and obvious about this, given what we know about a sphere and being able to see green on the ground between the goal line. Just because you can see the green doesn't mean there's not ball hanging over the top of that line. I think it crossed, probably, but I definitely don't think there's enough here to reverse the call via video review. All right, a couple obvious violent conduct situations here, Charlie. LA Galaxy, Colorado in town. Douglas Costa, first, shoving Michael Barrios down, and then second, what is he doing? You're always going to get a red card for this hands to the face on Felipe Gutierrez.
Always. You cannot put your hands on someone's head or face or neck. Don't do it. That's a red card. In every situation, keep your hands to yourself.
Yep, that's the way it is. If the force is not negligible, it is always going to be a red card in this situation. It was definitely more than negligible. Same thing goes for Paul Arriola on his little swing on Jamiro Montero. He swings out, hits him in the neck/face. It's not negligible. It's more than that. That is violent conduct and a red card every single time. Good use of video review on this one to catch it. Ted Uncle's the VAR, Drew Fisher's the referee, and they got this one right. All right, how about a handball, Charlie? We only have one of those on this show. That's rare. LAFC Houston. First half stoppage time. Fafa Picault. Ball strikes his arm. We can all see that. That is clear and obvious. It was not called on the field by Kevin Stott, but Jair Marufo, the VR, flagged him, and they called a PK after review. Do you agree? I think this one's pretty straightforward.
Yes, I agree. That's a handball.
Well, we've cleared that up. How about this? 68th minute, Johnny Russell in the PK area. Here comes Kamar Lawrence of Minnesota United. Oh, that's a scissor, folks. I do not see any ball. The PK was not called on the field. No review was initiated. But for me, this is a clear and obvious penalty kick. I think this should have been flagged, and I think Sporting Kansas City should have won 5-1, assuming they make the spot kick.
The ball never lies. SKC took care of business, but this is a penalty. His legs are taken completely out from under him, and there's no contact on the ball. Or if there is, it's slightly after his legs are completely taken out.
All right, as always, if you see something, say something. Our Twitter handles are right there. We're always down to discuss refereeing with you. Big thanks to our editor, Phil Levanco, our producer, Rich Hernandez. For Charlie Davies, I'm Andrew Wiebe. We'll see you next time.